NARTO resumes operation as freight rate increases. Niger workers begin indefinite strike. Fire raises shops in Anambra market. On the foreign scene, presidential candidates unite in Senegal, demand election in April. Hello and welcome to the Trust TV News Update at this hour. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin the news update with labor matters, where the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners have called off their strike after federal government's intervention. NARTO confirmed this in Abuja on Tuesday evening after the intervention of the federal government through the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Heineken Lokbabiri, as well as the President, NARTO Yusuf Usman, said the stakeholders in the downstream oil sector had reached an agreement to increase the freight rate of petroleum transporters and to gradually settle other concerns raised by the tanker operators. NARTO members have repeatedly raised concerns over the high cost of diesel required to power their trucks for the transportation of petroleum products across the country. And to another labor matter, workers in Niger State have downed tools this morning following a directive by the state chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress. The indefinite strike came about after the state government failed to meet their demands. The state chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Idris Lafeni, and his trade union Congress counterpart, Ibrahim Ghana, on Monday, directed civil servants in the state to commence an indefinite strike over what they described as the failure of the state government to continue negotiations on issues affecting the welfare of the workers and the smooth running of the state. However, the secretary to the state government, Abubakar Usman, said in a move to avert the strike has called for a meeting with the unions. Away from labor matters, the Nigerian Senate has called for a thorough scrutiny of the Ways and Means funds to ascertain if the intervention monies were expended without the knowledge of the Parliament. The call followed a heated debate on the floor of the Senate on Tuesday.
Speaking during Tuesday's plenary session, Senator Adamu Alero argued that some state governors, including some retired ones in the Senate, were beneficiaries of 18 billion naira as shock absorber under the Ways and Means since 2015.
Each state government in 2023 was given 18 billion naira at once. Some of the governors that benefited from that 18 billion naira are here.
The Senate president thereafter maintained that owing to the current economic situation, it has become expedient to thoroughly examine the Ways and Means Fund.
Most of those sponsored protests are not aware of the kind of efforts being made by the Senate to tackle the situation, together with the joint management team of the federal government of Nigeria.
Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin also explained that the intervention monies were expended without the knowledge of the Parliament, adding that lawmakers have a right to interrogate the expenditure.
So we are open to investigation, and there was a caveat at that time that we're going to investigate. The details must be provided, so we are waiting.
As the issues of whether or not to investigate the matter raised another debate in the red chambers, some lawmakers suggested that a special committee be set up to scrutinize the 30 trillion naira intervention disbursements, some of which were grants, and ways to mop them up.
What this chamber approved was 819, and we said that the other monies that has been spent cumulatively to, was it 20-something trillion? That the details should be provided. It has never been provided to date.
If some people spent money before bringing it to the Parliament for approval or appropriation, where did they get the money they spent? Because they spent money and they came here to look for approval.
For the National Assembly to find out what happened. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, nobody
in this chamber should suggest that we shouldn't look to anything that we feel is in the public interest. But let me say this very clearly. What Nigerians want today is food.
The Senate, however, resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the details of the Ways and Means funds, including the various intervention programs such as the Anchor Borrows program, monies given to state governments, manufacturers, aviation, banks, excess funding in the power sector, among others, which raised the current debt profile of the country.
Still with the National Assembly and now to the Green Chambers. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, on Tuesday, appealed to Nigerians not to despair in the face of the current economic hardship across the country, but to be resilient and determined to overcome the challenges. Speaking at the resumption of plenary, Kalu said while sacrifice is a necessary step towards long-term stability and prosperity in the country, Nigerians must trust the expertise of those tasked with guiding the economy, even as Nigerians hold them accountable for their actions. He said true progress cannot be achieved solely through policy pronouncement, but with the collective efforts of every Nigerian.
But remember, fellow Nigerians, true progress cannot be achieved solely through policy pronouncement. It requires the collective effort of each and every one of us. Let us rise above petty squabbles and unite in a common purpose. Let us channel our frustration into constructive criticisms, into holding ourselves and our leaders accountable, but always with the betterment of our nation as a guiding star. Let us focus on the broader canvas, on the multitude of measures being taken to address the root causes of inflation, streamlining foreign exchange flows, tackling food shortages, and investing in critical infrastructure. These, coupled with collective spirit of enterprise and perseverance, hold the key to unlocking price stability and economic growth.
And now to the northwestern part of the country. The Kano State Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission said on Tuesday that it had unsealed the 10 warehouses sealed last week for alleged hoarding of foodstuff. The chairman of the commission, Muhi Magaji, said the owners of the warehouses shown up and were directed to open and sell to the public. Magaji said as a result, Kano had begun to witness a drop in the prices of foodstuff. According to Mohi, the operation made a significant impact towards checking the increase in the prices of grains and other essential commodities in the state. He dismissed the claim by the management of Dawanu International Grains Market that they were not hoarding foodstuff in order to create artificial scarcity. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Customs Service Kano Area Command said on Tuesday that it intercepted 4 trucks loaded with food items as part of renewed efforts to tackle smuggling. The spokesman for the service, Saidu Nuruddin, said personnel of the NCS arrested the vehicles transporting a significant quantity of food items intended for illegal export along the Hadeja-Taura Ringim axis of Jigawa State. And now to a sad development, a midnight fire outbreak has razed no fewer than 4 shops at the Unko Market, Umunze in Orumba South local government area of Anambra State. Eyewitnesses said the fire was ignited by a suspected power surge and raged for several hours before the arrival of the men of the State Fire Service who battled to control it. Although no life was lost during the fire incident, goods and properties were destroyed in the affected shops, which were mainly provision shops, plastic and attachments shops. The inferno follows the 2 fire incidents recorded on Friday at a residential building at Rockland Estate, Oka, and a telecommunication mast in Agu, Oka. Confirming the incident, the State Fire Service boss, Martin Agbili, said the firefighters received the call of the incident at about 1:20 a.m. The Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike has appealed to residents of the FCT and Nigerians in general to exercise patience with President Tinubu's administration amidst the prevailing economic hardships. Wike made this appeal while officially flagging off the construction of a 5-kilometer road in Abaji. Habibat Ajayi has more details.
The flag-off ceremony marks the beginning of the FCT's rural road projects within Abaji Area Council aimed at enhancing infrastructural development in the region. Minister Wike stressed the crucial role of good infrastructure in addressing food insecurity across the country. He explained that the project aimed to improve transportation within the community, stimulate economic activities, and enhance the overall quality of life for Abaji residents.
I will never associate myself, identify myself with anything that will not work. If I tell you that things will turn around positively, be assured that it will turn around positively. Because for me, the decision taken by Mr. President, yes, may not have materialized as quickly as you want it. But what is important is at the end of the day, will it be fruitful to us? Yes. Are we going to enjoy it? Yes. If you are impatient, you are right to be impatient. If you are impatient, you are right. But it is also in our own position to beg you to say, just be calm. Just be calm. You will reap it.
The chairman of Abaji Area Council expressed gratitude to the minister for the project and called for swift completion of previously abandoned projects.
As our minister embarks on this journey of rural development, I call on all of us to remain united in our determination to see it through to completion. Let us embrace the opportunities that this rural infrastructure will bring, while also being mindful of the responsibility is entailed in terms of environmental sustainability.
The construction of this road will open up several rural communities and improve economic activities, security along the road corridor. We assure the Honorable Minister that STDD will do our best to see to the thorough supervision and complete the delivery of this project on time.
These roads, nominated by each area council, are non-partisan initiatives aimed at delivering tangible results within 1 year. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
We move over now to the southeastern part of the country, where residents of Owerri, the Imo state capital, have called on President Tinubu to channel more energies into resolving issues of insecurity and the economy, which they said will have greater impact on the lives of Nigerians. The call comes on the heels of the recent charge by President Tinubu that the national pledge be compulsorily recited at official public functions to help re-engineer the spirit of patriotism among Nigerians. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise tells us more.
Noble as the presidential directive on the national pledge is, many see it as a misplaced priority in the face of daunting economic and security challenges. For some of the residents, the nation has not been fair to them, as nothing seems to be on ground to motivate them into reciting the national pledge or driving them towards a more patriotic orientation.
It's sung everywhere, wherever there's an event, even the church. Any big event where you have a presence of a government official, the national anthem and national pledges are always sung. But we just for singing sake, we don't do what the national pledges, the words of that national pledge, or even national anthem says. If we do that, the country will be better. So the president, I think I want to advise the Mr. President that from today he should be doing living by the pledge.
For others, the present-day hardship in the economy deserves more attention than reciting a national pledge that will do little or nothing to assuage the sufferings of the masses.
The national pledge, what they're talking about now is to be faithful, honest, to abide and blah, 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 the rest of them in the national pledge. I don't think that the judiciary and the rest of them, they are abiding on that. You understand? There are so many things in Nigeria which They're not among the national pledge. They should look into the national pledge and abide to that this thing because the citizens are suffering. You understand? The national pledge encourage everybody, even the poor masses, but now everybody is suffering.
They believe that the only way the government can get the citizens to love and recite the national pledge is not by compulsion, but rather by implementing people-oriented policies that will usher in good governance.
I think the priority should be that the president should make incentives. People need to be happy. I think in Nigeria, I think people are not happy now. If people are actually happy, they will find it on their own. They will recite the national pledge.
The country is not treating us fine. We are experiencing severe hardship. Not everybody will want to sing the national anthem and national pledge because some are of the opinion that the country is not offering anything good to them.
Though it may not sound very appealing to Nigerians at the moment, but patriotism on the part of citizens is key when it comes to nation building, and the recitation of the national pledge and upholding its tenets as directed by President Bola Tinubu is one of the major ways to achieve such. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still to come in part 2. Maintenance buying cost threaten Benue commercial motorcyclist operations. We'll bring you insights and details of this story and more to come after the break. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying. But if you're just joining us, this is the Trust TV News Update. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that NARTO resumes operation as freight rates increases. Plus, Niger workers begin indefinite strike. And now moving on to other stories. The Ondo State Governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, has declared Thursday, February 22nd and Friday, February 23rd, 2024 as public holidays in the state. The holidays, according to a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ebenezer Adenio, are in honor of the former governor of the state, the late Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. Adenio noted that the 2 work-free days will allow the people of the state to participate in the burial activities of the former governor who died last December. Commercial motorcyclists in Makurdi, the Benue state capital, say their operations have been threatened by the surge in operational costs, as well as cost of buying new motorcycles. According to them, the rise in the price of premium motor spirit has dealt a major blow to their trade, causing some of them to reconsider continuing in the face of a biting economy. Trust TV's Jimmy Azande reports that most operators are calling for government intervention to enable them stay in business. Customs Service has refuted claims of a hike in duties as reported in some quarters, maintaining that no change has been officially made. The National PRO of the Nigeria Customs Service, Abdullahi Maiwada, emphasized this during a visit to the headquarters of Media Trust Group in Abuja, while also adding that the service is scaling up its food actions to address the soaring food prices in the country.
There is a fiscal policy arm of the government and the monetary arm of the government. Now, we are not responsible for determining exchange rate. That is a product of monetary policy. You understand? Now, when you import an item, you said customs duty. We have not increased duty rate on any item. The fiscal policy measure that is enforced has not brought about any increase in rates of customs duty. And that product of fiscal policy is determined by the government and is implemented by the Nigeria Customs Service. As I'm talking to you today, Tuesday, the portal is open. auction.nigeriacustomservice.trade.gov.ng. It is open every Monday, 12 to 6 p.m., the bidding window. Every Tuesday, every Nigerian, if you have a TIN number on Tax Pro Max, you can bid for a vehicle of your choice. We are issuing all the food items in our custody, but after they have passed through two things: court condemnation, and they are fit and certified for consumption. I've just issued a statement now. The statement is out, and the essence is to at least cushion, to mitigate the suffering, the prices of food items. So we are doing that, and we'll start a pilot test with Lagos, and we are going to do another pilot test with Kano.
We'll take it away from Nigeria now. In Senegal, 15 out of the 20 candidates approved to contest in the delayed presidential elections have united in a call for the vote to be conducted no later than April 2nd, coinciding with the end of President Macky Sall's term. These candidates included notable figures like Bassirou Diomaye Faye and former Dakar Mayor Khalifa Sall, emphasized the importance of adhering to the electoral schedule and insisted that the candidates' list should remain unchanged. President Sall's proposal to postpone the elections for several months to resolve disputes over candidate eligibility faced a setback when the country's highest court deemed the delay unconstitutional. In response, Sall expressed his commitment to organizing the election as soon as possible. Amidst these developments, protests have erupted in Dakar, with demonstrators urging President Sall to expedite the electoral process. Hundreds of people took to the streets chanting slogans against Sall's perceived authoritarian tendencies and demanding the release of imprisoned opposition figures. The postponement of the presidential election, initially scheduled for February 25th, stirred controversy, leading to clashes between protesters and security forces. The Constitutional Council's ruling against the delay underscored the imperative of holding timely and transparent elections to uphold democratic norms in Senegal. Pregnant women's C-sections was cancelled and cancer treatments were postponed Wednesday as a number of South Korean trainee doctors to walk off the job over proposed reforms swelled. Seoul's second Vice Health Minister Park Min-soo said more than 8,800 junior doctors, 71% of the trainee workforce, have now quit. The move is part of a spiraling protest against government plans to sharply increase medical school admissions. Seoul says the reforms are essential, citing the country's low doctor numbers and rapidly aging population. But doctors claim the changes will hurt service provision and education quality. And in sports and out of football, Nigerian footballers Esther Onyenezide and Okpeyemi Ajakaye have finalized their transfer to Spanish women's club Madrid CFF from the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership side FC Robo Queens. The duo, known for the exceptional talent and contributions to FC Robo Queens, have now embarked on a new chapter in their careers by signing with Madrid CFF. This move marks a significant milestone for both players as they transition to compete in one of Europe's top football leagues. Esther Onyenezide, recognized for her versatility and skill on the pitch, and Okpeyemi Ajakaye, known for her strength and defensive prowess, are expected to bolster Madrid CFF squad with their experience and abilities. Their transfer to Madrid CFF underscores the growing recognition of Nigerian women footballers on the international stage and highlights the increasing opportunities for African players in top-tier European leagues. As they embark on this exciting journey with Madrid CFF, Esther Onyenezide and Okpeyemi Ajakaye aim to make significant contributions to their new club and continue to showcase the talent and potential of Nigerian footballers on the global stage. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time. Join us again.